All right, guys, so I hope your stories are coming along well about what you did on Thanksgiving Day. I worked on my story after I got the beginning started yesterday. And today we are going to talk about how writers, which are all of you, often have to reread as we're going through and after we write a little. And you know, that's something that we practice all the time, especially at the green table when I have you write a sentence. And yesterday when I was practicing the sentence, do you remember how many times I went back and I kept rereading and we kept looking back, right? And talking about what it is that I wanted to write and what I had wrote. So that is what we're focusing on today, how writers are also readers and how important it is. Because sometimes when you bring your story to me, you say, well, I don't know what that says. But remember, I'm not the one who wrote it. It was you. And so as you're going through, it's really important to do that. So I'm going to go through my story with you about Thanksgiving Day. So, and here's something cool you can do too. And I did this yesterday, I believe, with the reading groups. And I was showing them how, especially with the dry erase, like with the dry erase sheet. So once you're writing a sentence or something, or even a sight word, and then you know how we write a sight word or we write a word, and then I want you to read it. It works really good sometimes when we're reading it to use the bottom, to cap it up and use the bottom and say, and. So if we're not using, because sometimes when we use our finger, if we accidentally do something, it erases it really easy, especially with these containers, right? The sleeves that we can put it in, things erase. But if you're using this and we're writing a whole sentence, like, I like you, and then I want to go back and reread it. I don't want to get my hand or wipe it off. So you can use the bottom. It's kind of like a special trick. And read it like, I like you. And this doesn't really erase like your finger would if you're not being careful. See? So we can do the same thing with our writing. So I can write with one end and then I can like turn it over and point with the other. It's like a special wand. So I went in the van. So remember yesterday I was telling you, I went in the van. So we were headed over to Dylan's Grandma and Grandpa's. So this is some of the parts that I started working on. Here we go. And since I'm going to read, I'm going to use the other end. We got to Grandma and Grandpa's house. This is a picture of their house. They have a long driveway. Here's my next sentence. We ate dinner. I didn't really have time to draw the picture, so I'll have to come back to that. We talked on the couch. And then here, I was drawing the picture, but I thought maybe I could write the sentence with you guys right now. So this was my ending. And if you can tell what's happening, remember how it's important that the picture that we draw hopefully helps us to remember what it was that we wanted to write. So I was trying to think, what was it that I was going to write? We talked. See how I'm reading again? Then if I read it again, maybe it'll help me remember. We talked on the couch. We drove home. Okay, this is what I was going to write, I think. We drove home. It was dark. I think I was going to write 2 sentences on that page. So here's what I'm going to draw. We, and I've been writing we, so I can look back. so that I remember and I don't have to think about it too much. We, what was I going to write next? We drove home. So sometimes I was telling you yesterday, my 2-finger space, I'm going to make the lines drove home so I don't forget that I'm working on that sentence with 2 more words. We drove home. This is where writers are also readers. I have to keep saying the sentence and looking back. I have that word we, so I'm on drove. Dur. Do you hear the r? Drove. Hear the O? Drove. Drove. How does that look to you? Drove. So watch. This is where it's important. I have to go back. See what I have. We drove. I was waiting for you to say it. We drove home. What letter is that? Yep. Ho. Hear me saying this letter? O. Home. We drove home. Now I'm going to read it again. We drove home. Now, I'm going to go back and instead of just saying, I'm done, which is what you try to do at school sometimes, right? Before you bring it to me, or before you take it to your Gigi, or before you take it to your babysitter, you're going to go back and you're going to reread it because you might have missed a word, right? This happens. You guys come to me and you say, I don't know what I wrote here. So this is why your picture has to help you remember, because maybe you didn't spell it exactly right and you're trying to sound it out and it's not working, right? I went in, that was our sight word from this week, wasn't it? The van. We got to Grandma and Grandpa's house. So I should really stop right now and I should draw my picture. Then, when I'm done drawing my picture, I should start over and read it again and see how far I can get and where I need to stop next time. And then, if this is going to be my ending, we drove home, which it is. I'm pretty sure that's my ending. I don't need this last page, so I can take it off. And I can get rid of that. I don't need it, right? Some of you need that. I don't need it. And I don't have to put anything here. This is a page I don't need because I made an ending. We drove home. That's a good ending, right? So that is what I'm going to work on. And I hope you guys are practicing rereading and you're working on your sentences with 2-finger spaces, right? You can draw your lines about the words that you want to write and that you're not giving moms or dads or grandmas or grandpas a hard time about doing your writing, because I really want to see what you did on Thanksgiving Day. I miss you all. See you later.